Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on Shri FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Casmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. This afternoon, state on the brink of collapse. That's according to the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, which has re-echoed calls for the president to immediately declare a state of emergency in Galamsey-prone areas. Also coming up this afternoon. Scores of students at the Tamale Teaching Hospital University sustained various degrees of injuries following a clash with the police during a protest against management of the school. And much later on the program, GPRTU protests the occupation of portions of the CMB Lorry Park within the Central Business District. You want to stay with us for all the details. Let's start from here. And transport unions in Ghana are planning to withdraw their services in the capital city, Accra, starting today, the 16th of September. The action is in protest of a private developer ejecting drivers operating at the Central Business District, that's the CMB. The protest has caused disruptions to commuters in the city. The forced eviction has not only affected drivers but also brought trading activities to a standstill, depriving people of their livelihood. The unions and traders claim that they have occupied the land for decades, with developers gradually taking over portions, leaving them with limited space. Mo Ibrahim is the Industrial Relations Officer for the GPRTU.
Station MIA and yes idea not just say about packet back for fine so driver for your back fine so a post watching at the top for so back fine so abaye for about the chair says Sabre yan day alien somewhere himself president or a listening president Obaso Babe reset Ghana one baso Babe destroy Ghana one baso Babe team for one way from some elite catcher of His Excellency John Dramani Mama all tier in Nipa why you see a dear see a panicho on tears no year beside my and yes I dear Nana Ghana Shanka for and 24 year fire one
GPRTU have been there 1985 and then you see people who come, oh, this land belongs to us, the railways has given to us, so then they will push all the women. Now if you start from Swansea again right down to CMB Abuja, you'll see women on the street, and health-wise it is not good for them because into the street. Even the GPITU people, if you get to Abuja, you will see that they have parked their cars on the street, and it is not good. A country like Ghana, in fact, that is why we are here to present our petition to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that we are pleading with him. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. You had there some traders and drivers protesting the takeover of the land, or where they do their business by people they describe as private developers. We still stay on protest because scores of students of the Tamale Teaching Technical University have sustained various degrees of injuries after the students clashed with police during a protest against management of the school over what they describe as neglect, misappropriation, mismanagement of the school's funds, and unjustified fee increment. The students blocked all entry points of the school and also burnt lorry tires at the administration to register their displeasure. My colleague Christopher Mwako was at the school earlier. He joins us live with the latest on it. Chris, if you can tell us whether calm has been restored to the campus following that clash earlier.
Yes, so Beatrice, I can confirm to you that some relative calm has been restored to the school campus. As we speak, even though you can still see scores of students walking around the school campus, but the agitations have stopped. Police earlier have been able to control the crowd, and the leadership have also been able to speak to the students to protest. So as we speak, students have dispersed and calm has been restored.
Indeed, and if you're watching us on Facebook, we're showing you video of the protest earlier. I can say that hundreds of people indeed participated in this protest. You're saying that fortunately calm has returned to the place. But aside from what they call unjustified, or if you can actually give us more detail regarding what they call unjustified fee increment, neglect and misappropriation on the side of the management.
Yeah, so when it comes to the decision-making body of the school, the SRC has a say in the fee-fixing committee of the school. And so anytime they are going to fix school fees, you see the SRC representing the student body. So this time around, management has withdrawn the participation of the SRC and DRAFA from the fee-fixing committee, and because they always have issues with fee increments. And so management has informed them that they are going to increase fees and there is nothing they can do about it. And so they have even sidelined them. Because of that, they have even refused to transfer SRC money into SRC accounts. Beyond that, they also have issues of underdevelopment of the school, which they claim the management is misappropriating the school's funds and not channeling the funds into its intended purposes. And so this morning they came out to demonstrate in relation to that and to also register their displeasure over the attitude of management towards the student body. And so that was exactly what triggered this demonstration and the escalated tensions as a result of the presence of the security.
I want you to hold on as we listen to some of the students earlier, and then we'll come back to conclude our conversation.
We are petitioning against management neglect, misappropriation of funds, and unjustified fee increment at the Tamale Technical University. Please, we understand presidents of the Graduate Student Association of Ghana and the Student Representative Council of the Tamale Technical University. They please submit this petition on behalf of the student body. We are compelled to bring to your urgent attention issues of systematic neglect of student welfare, alleged misapplication of funds, and the proposed increment of due without justification. These actions in our view contravene the principle equity of accountability and quality education enshrined in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and Ghana Education Regulatory Bodies Act 2020 Act 1023. Neglect of student welfare and fiduciary duty as follows: medical examination fee. First year students of the university pay year fees, yet there's no any comprehensive medical examination for them.
And you have some students complaining about what is happening within the school at the Tamale Technical University. Christopher Mwako, you're still on the line with us. Earlier, you told us that some students had sustained some levels of injuries. Are you able to tell us how serious those injuries are?
Yes, so scores of the students sustained injuries as a result of the firing of the rubber bullets. Some of them have been rushed to the hospital, but as we speak, they are doing very well, and the injuries are not so severe or serious. So they are responding well.
Do we know how many of the students sustained the injuries?
Yes, so for now we cannot tell the numbers because some of them were rushed to the hospital. I have actually spotted some of them and engaged them on their injuries and how they are doing. They tell me that even though they are doing well, but they are feeling some pain in the areas where the pellets hit.
And Chris, I can see per the video you sent us an armored vehicle of the formed police unit running through the campus of the university, and students, some running away, some pelting the vehicle with stones. Are you able to tell us whether any arrests have been made?
So far, no arrests have been made. The police have since left the place. The police told me earlier that they had come to restore calm, and that once calm has been restored, they have to leave. Then later, they will come to investigate the issue because they don't want to aggravate the tension that was happening around that time.
Aside from your conversation with the police before you go, are you able to tell us what management of the school is saying about this?
Yes, so management has been silent about the whole issue. They are not ready to talk right now.
Thank you very much, Christopher Marco. He's our correspondent in the northern region, bringing us update following that earlier clash between students of the Tamale Technical University and police over management issues of the school. Some 11 minutes past the hour of 12. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us.
Ghana, it's a new year and Bill's Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a...
Are you ready?
It's 3FM Afro Connect, a grand celebration of African unity.
This September, Africa will unite to celebrate the beauty and cultural diversity of the continent in Accra, Ghana. The whole continent is gathering at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park on Nkrumah Holiday, the 22nd of September 2025 from 9 a.m. Experience the art,
Jollof Walls. This year, AfroConnect gets even bigger and better with the Osaja Fall Night Concert. Buy your tickets on *725 *2226#. That's *725 *2226# for 100 Ghana cedis. To be a vendor for this Pan-African celebration, call us on 0531 100 927 and 0532 200 927 to book your space.
It's happening at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park on the 22nd of
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Thank you for staying. Now, the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has urged President John Mahama to declare a state of emergency in the areas affected by illegal small-scale mining, which is popularly called Galamsey. Now, the council says that such a declaration would empower extraordinary interventions. Now, in addition to the call to declare a state of emergency, the Bishops' Conference says that members also noted that the Galamsey fight requires a holistic, integrated national strategy. Now, the call comes at a time when President John Mahama has already said that he has been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because they have not exhausted the powers to tackle illegal mining. Let's have a quick conversation on this. We're joined by the President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Jemfi. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, too.
So you mentioned the need for extraordinary interventions, in inverted commas. What specific actions do you believe a state of emergency will allow that current measures not to do?
You see, the distraction that is going on is extraordinary, is grievous, is dangerous, and it doesn't call for any other simple, delayed correction. They call for extraordinary measures. And this is about life and death of the nation. And that is why we call on the leadership of the country to take extraordinary measures. When there is death approaching you, you don't delay. You take urgent measures to halt it. And this is death, destruction of our nation. So why should we wait? In other words, we should stop it immediately. We should put an end for it. Why should you delay? Why should we sip a poison that is killing us? You don't sip it. You stop it. You throw it away. So the president who is leading the nation must stand up and deliver his country from death, from distraction. And so he should stop and use all the resources available to him, all the resources of the country, to put a stop, immediate stop, to Galamsey.
You heard the president say at that maiden media encounter with the press that he was reluctant to declare a state of emergency. How do you respond to that?
Well, I don't know. I believe that the president is not aware of the gravity and the seriousness of the issue at hand. He may not be aware. And if he's aware, then I wonder why he would say that. And I say this as somebody who has seen some sections of the programs. Look at our rivers. Look at the dangers. Look at farmlands. Look at this. It's like a war declared on Ghana, on our very livelihood. So why is the president not declare a state of emergency? Unless he's not aware. And we are reminding him and telling him of some of the dangers, the immediacy, and the urgency that the country is in. For the president to be aware of these things and to declare a state of emergency, halt all Galamsey, whether legal or illegal, the consequences are dangerous and it's destroying the nation. So declare and stop it.
Declare and stop it, you say. Moving forward, though, the president also mentioned that the team by the police administration that was to go into these areas and deal with the problem has been disbanded. You said earlier that there should be an extraordinary approach towards this. How do you expect the president to work around teams that are expected to go to areas to help deal with the problem?
I don't know whether it was your station or one of the radio stations, but I've forgotten the name. One of the members in the CNDC, who is an elder of the NDC, he was on television and they interviewed him. And he said, if the president really wants to control and stop this, he can put in place a battalion of our army, and they should sweep off all of these people from the ground. This is not something that we can solve piecemeal. It is not something that we can solve by installment. We have tried the method that the government is doing now. It didn't work. Why should we try the same method that didn't work? So there should be putting one battalion, as a suggestion from this guy. And I think I agree with him. One battalion soldiers, fully armed, to sweep our forests.
And kill the people there?
These people out of it.
And kill the people there?
Pardon?
And kill the people there. That's what you're also supporting or proposing.
I said they should drive them. And if necessary, they resist. They must also resist, because anybody who attacks the nation, the way that these Galamsey people are doing, is like an army invading our country, and they must equally resist. And they must live peacefully, or the soldiers must drive them out like soldiers who are invading our country. This is not time for talking about small things when our lives are in danger. The water we drink, the food we eat, the babies being born. Then where is our future? What does this paltry small amount of gold that we get, what does it do to our nation? And even if we get it and we are dead, we are deformed, what will be the value of it?
Most Reverend.
Which nation destroys its future the way we are doing, and then we are looking on?
Most Reverend, thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you.
And he had the Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Jemfi. He is the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the latest to join in calls for the president to declare a state of emergency and to put in all the necessary measures to stop the destruction of our environment through illegal mining. He actually said that the president should ban mining of all forms as well as the country tries to deal with this problem. Meanwhile, the Minister for Government Communications, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, has also been speaking about a planned roll-up strategy in the coming days.
And even as we take steps to fight it, those who are engaged in it still find reason to go back. And some time ago, I said that the Galamsey fight has to be an eternal fight. It was taken out of context to mean that we will never win it. But we have to maintain eternal vigilance. That is why, as part of the efforts going forward, all those places that we claimed, the soldiers and the security forces won't leave. They will set up permanent camps to ensure that people don't come. At least the 44 forest reserves that were endangered. And all the riverine areas of Ghana will have permanent security presence to ensure that people do not come back. And that will be rolled out in the coming days.
And he had Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, who is the Minister for Government Communications. We stay at the presidency, and the President, John Mahama, has announced that the Ghana National Petroleum Company, GNPC, and its explorative subsidiary, Exploco, are advancing preparations to drill 2 exploration wells by the end of the third quarter of 2026. The move, the President says, is important as the country strives to make use of its energy resources that risk going stale. Speaking at the Africa Oil Week Summit, the President urged energy companies to partner Ghana in tapping its energy resources.
Here in Ghana, opportunities abound in the oil and gas sector. Ghana has several sedimentary basins with great prospects. At the Risk Western Basin, where we have the Jubilee 10 and Sankofa Ginyami fields. Recently, we reached a $2 billion investment agreement with the Jubilee and 10 partners, and we're now in talks with the Ginyami Sankofa partners to speed up and expand their activities in their concession area. The Central Salt Pond and Eastern Kita basins demonstrate significant potential, and we invite and encourage investors to visit the data room and review the available information on these prospects. It is instructive to note that Ghana, like most African countries, has large unlicensed acreages across our offshore and onshore basins. The onshore Voltaian Basin presents one of the most exciting frontiers on the continent. The Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, and its exploration subsidiary, Exploco, are advancing preparations to drill 2 new exploration wells by the end of the third quarter of 2026. This presents a unique farming opportunity for partners seeking to pioneer Ghana's onshore potential. Under my leadership, we're committed to building a business environment in Ghana that meets investors' expectations while safeguarding our national interest. Africa must not be left behind in the energy transition. If international oil companies reduce their presence, we must prevent our resources from becoming stranded assets. This requires African collaboration, financing, and innovation. We already have the tools. The African Petroleum Producers Organization, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and the Emerging African Energy Bank. These institutions can mobilize African capital, technology, and markets. They can drive aggressive exploration, refining, petrochemical, storage, and transport infrastructure. Together, they can ensure that Africa's resources fuel African development.
And he had the President John Mahama, now the Chief of Staff Julius Debra, has called for a collective effort to confront corruption, saying the Kanka annually rips the country of huge sums of revenue that could be used to create decent jobs for people. At the launch of the stakeholder engagement of the National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan, Mr. Debra lamented the worrying trend of ethical decay in the society and how even students who sit for exams continue to exhibit unethical conduct that Christian Yale is our man. He joins us. Chris, what more can you tell us from what the Chief of Staff has been saying?
Yes, when you look at the statistics and research by various groups, Ghana loses annually an amount of $3 billion. This is the worry of the Chief of Staff, who believes that this amount could be diverted into infrastructural projects, schools, roads, and the rest. Again, he mentions that the country has positioned itself to be the investment hub. Ghana is open to trade, yet corruption is a canker that has become a bottleneck in achieving that reality. And so what? He is calling on all of these stakeholders who have gathered here to fashion a proper way forward through the implementation of this National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan to ensure that corruption is nipped in the bud.
So let's listen to what the Chief of Staff said.
That will enable embedded accountability, transparency, and integrity into the very fabric of our institutions and society. His Excellency the President, President John Dramani Mahama, remains resolute in his vision to build a resilient economy, one that will create jobs, strengthen infrastructure, and position Ghana to compete globally. Ghana is open for business, and we are actively seeking strategic investment to energize our local economy.
Chris, we also do know that this is the first of several engagements to happen. Are you able to tell us who are involved?
Yes, and so this involves about 5 different stakeholder engagement that will be held in Accra alone from today to Thursday. And so you have civil society organizations, among many other multi-stakeholder groups that are involved in this. But you have Mary Adu of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, for instance, make a case that the fight against corruption shouldn't be left to government alone. She is of the view that it cannot be mere sloganeering, but it should be one of a national commitment. She even calls for what she calls a partnership of leaders and citizens alike. We can take a listen to what she has been saying.
We recognize that your voices are essential because corruption does not affect just a few. And we believe that as a society, we should be doing things together. Here in Greater Accra, 5 consultative sessions will be facilitated between today and Thursday. The small groupings, we didn't bring together many people in a bigger hall because we want a lot of interaction. So these small groupings are strategic.
And you heard that Mary Adu, she is with the Ghana Integrity Initiative. A former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kwaku Sansari, has criticized the Attorney General's claim that the Ghana Bar Association is an appendage of political parties, calling the statement quite unfortunate. This is after the AG, Dr. Dominic Ayene, accused the professional body of selective commentary on constitutional matters, particularly the recent removal of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu. Speaking at the opening of the annual General Conference of the GBA on Monday, Dr. Ayene urged the association to rise above partisanship and consistently defend the rule of law. First, listen to the Attorney General.
The bar found its voice when petitions based upon the same constitutionally defined procedures were brought in respect of the removal from office of the former Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Araba Tokonu. Ladies and gentlemen, the honest question we have to ask ourselves is, what changed? The 3 petitions aforementioned touch and concern office holders of 3 constitutional bodies critical to the sustenance of our democracy. The independence of the 3 institutions has been guaranteed by the Constitution. The 3 occupants were all women of significant repute.
And you heard that the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayene, however, speaking on the matter, the former law school executive, Ansari, defended the bar's position on national matters, even though he said he had in the past criticized certain decisions and actions the association took.
And I remember criticizing the bar for the statement it issued because it not, purport to represent, the view of the majority. Because I thought that it was uncalled for, having, admitted, that it was in furtherance of the outworkings of the Constitution, it would lie ill in the mouth of the same bar association to purport to distance itself from, a very reasoned position it had taken. And therefore, I will not say that, the bar, is being, passive, or they are doing this or that. Then the second...
And you had that, a former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kwaku Ansansari. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News here today on Shri FM 92.7. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Lifestyle radio station.
And hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, CD expected to see modest stability on back of World Bank's $360 million concession loan after weeks of sustained depreciation against major trading currencies. And analysts make case for efficiency targets for ECG and Ghana Water Company Limited to reduce losses as he warns over 200% utility tariff hike could derail government's monetary policy agenda.
These utility companies must be tasked to ensure that the losses are cut and they should be given a certain target.
I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere. We'll head straight into our top story, and the city is tipped to record modest stability in the coming days, buoyed by positive investor sentiments following the disbursement of a $360 million concessional loan from the World Bank. Analysts believe stronger foreign exchange support will help anchor this outlook, though upcoming monetary policy decisions at home and abroad remain key in shaping market direction. The following report has the details.
The city is projected to record some modest stability in the short term, supported by the World Bank's $316 billion concessional loan and expectations of stronger forex interventions. This comes after the local currency endured sustained depreciation over the last 2 weeks across both the interbank and retail markets. On the interbank market, the cedi weakened from a mid-rate of 11 cedis 40 pesos to 12 cedis 15 pesos against the US dollar. It also slipped by more than 6% to trade at 16 cedis 45 pesos to the pound and 14 cedis 23 pesos to the euro. In the retail market, the cedi lost nearly 7% to close at 13 cedis 40 pesos to the dollar, while trading at 17 cedis 60 pesos and 15 cedis 45 pesos to the pound and euro respectively. Data Bank research attributed the recent losses to heightened seasonal demand, weak market sentiment, and delayed forex supply interventions. However, it maintains that the World Bank loan and improved foreign exchange support should provide some relief going forward. Currently, the cedi is selling at 13 cedis 60 pesos to the dollar at the forex bureaus and 12 cedis 20 pesos on the interbank market, with a year-to-date gain of over 16% against the US dollar.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Meanwhile, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, says the cedi remains one of the best performing currencies globally, despite seasonal trade pressures and a slowdown in remittances inflows. According to him, remittances have not been as strong as in previous periods. However, its impact on the cedi's performance has been contained.
The cedi is projected to record some modest stability in the
Despite seasonal pressures and a moderation in remittance inflows in recent weeks, the cedi remains among the strongest currencies globally year to date, appreciating by about 21% as of September 12th. The cedi now ranks alongside high performers such as the Russian ruble, the Swedish krona, the Norwegian krone, the Swiss franc, the euro, and the British pound. This outperformance reflects prudent monetary policy. It also reflects effective liquidity management at the central bank. It reflects fiscal consolidation, and it also reflects increased foreign exchange inflows. Colleagues, our commitment remains firm, and these are to maintain price stability, to safeguard financial stability, and to create the conditions for inclusive and sustainable growth.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Now, the chief executive of Ghana Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, has dismissed allegations that the company is engaging in unfair gold trading practices by applying interbank foreign exchange rates on its purchases. His comments follow concerns raised by the Member of Parliament for Kaikwe Central, Patrick Boama, who accused Gold Board of implementing pricing policies that disadvantage small-scale miners, destabilize the market, and are allegedly enforced through intimidation by national security operatives. Speaking to journalists, Mr. Gyamfi said the company is already introducing measures to cushion dealers from the impact of the cedi's recent appreciation on their earnings.
Now, as the cedi appreciates and the dollar rate goes down, what it therefore means is that once you use the interbank rate, gold prices will be low. And so gold prices dropped significantly, not because Sami Gyamfi reduced the prices, but because the exchange rates, which you have to multiply, which you have to use in converting the price in dollars to cedis, went low. And so that is why, in order to motivate miners so that they are not victims of their own good deeds, which good deed is the selling of their gold to the gold board, we have introduced an 832 Ghana cedis bonus per pound. That is unprecedented. And so today, for example, if we are to use the interbank rates, the price of the local Ghanaian pound of gold should be around 10,474. But we are adding 832 cedis to it. And so you are buying it at almost 11,600 or so. And the miners appreciate this, and they are 11,200, 11,300. And they are very grateful to the Gold Board for that. So our pricing is very fair.
So that was the chief executive of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, speaking. Now, away from that, a senior lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, Dr. Beatrice Adu, is cautioning that proposals by utility companies to increase tariffs by over 200% could undermine the government's monetary policy agenda. While acknowledging the need for tariff adjustments in line with the IMF recommendations, he insists such a steep increment will overstretch consumers and derail economic stability. Dr. Beatrice Adu believes the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and the Ghana Water Company Limited should instead be given realistic efficiency targets to cut operational losses to manage to manageable levels.
I think that we need to be able to balance tariff adjustment with inefficiency, which I agree with the IMF in part. However, to increase tariff by over 200% was on the stretch. That would defeat and even throw the government monetary policy agenda off balance. These huge losses, you are coming back to say that those who are already paying, we should burden them to pay, for those losses. I don't think it is fair. In as much as that we want you to continue to produce power, to produce water for us, I think you need to be able to, these utility companies must be tasked to ensure that the losses are cut, and they should be given a certain target. That cut your losses to 10% for this year, or cut it to 5%. Let's give them a realistic target. If we're able to cut it, then we will be able to increase the rate, so that we'll know that some efforts are being made in addressing the existing challenge.
That was Senior Lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, Dr. Eric Boakye Yadom speaking. Now, the Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness at the Office of the President, Dr. Peter Boama Otokuno, says Ghana is making significant strides in tackling post-harvest losses in the country due to key moves the government is making. Already, it has announced an agreement to develop an input credit platform, which input credit platform would embody the value chain management aggregation of this output produced by farmers. Yesterday, the government also announced its intervention to mitigate post-harvest losses among farmers in the Asante Akim North District of the Ashanti region by procuring about 1,000 boxes of tomatoes and 2,000 bags of onions cultivated by local farmers under the Feed Ghana program.
We signed an agreement with Furi Ghana Limited to develop an input credit platform, which input credit platform would also embody the value chain management aggregation of this, output produced by the farmers, so that when the farmers produce this output, it can be aggregated easily through that value chain linkages and move them to the relevant consumers.
You hear the voice of Dr. Peter Boama Otokuno. He's Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness at the Office of the President, bringing an end to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please visit our website, is3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.